to boaters, and airlines temporarily cancels trips to airports including USVI and Puerto Rico. All this and more when 284 News returns.
We understand that you cannot come to the store and encourage you to stay at home. If you need assistance with bill payments, top-ups, or troubleshooting, we are here to help. Call us at 444-4444 from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily, or visit our website at www.cctbvi.com. Click Top Up here or My CCT for top-up or bill payments. Social distancing with CCT.
Welcome everybody, it's Monday, May 25th, 2020, coming to you live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands. I'm Ron Grant.
And I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes. Ron, yet another beautiful day here in the BVI. It is Monday, so we have a long week ahead just to keep our viewers informed on everything that's happening around the world and also here locally. Definitely looking forward to that.
Indeed, and of course wishing each and every one of our viewers a beautiful, beautiful week. Before we get into our newscast, a very quick reminder of the BVI curfew order, 17 highlights, business closures and inspections. Entertainment and accommodation facilities are among those businesses to remain temporarily closed in accordance with the Curfew Act 2017 imposition of a curfew Number 17, Order 2020. The temporary closure also includes hotels, villas, public swimming pools, cinemas, gyms, bars, and nightclubs. This is, of course, to allow for the development of the necessary safe distancing protocols needed to control, suppress, and prevent the spread of COVID-19 and to protect all persons in the territory of the Virgin Islands. All other businesses and establishments may open and are allowed to operate during the hours of 6 a.m. and 7 p.m., provided they have been inspected, approved, and certified by the Social Distancing Task Force. Now, business owners are reminded to adhere to the health, social distancing, and safety protocols as prescribed in the Public Health COVID-19 Control and Suppression Measures Number 2, Order 2020. The Social Distancing Task Force will be conducting unannounced inspections to determine the level of compliance by business owners. Business owners are also reminded to ensure that provisions are made for staff and employees to report to and leave work within the imposed curfew hours. Businesses that have not been inspected by the Social Distancing Task Force are to remain closed to the public until they have been given the approval. Business owners are to schedule inspections online, or they can also contact the department by 468-5110. Again, that number is 468-5110 or 544-4757 for all other inquiries. Kyla, as we begin to reintegrate and get back into the process of operating businesses with, of course, in the phased reopening, we want to make sure that persons are aware of the protocols.
Most definitely, Ron. This is the new normal, and we do want to remind persons just basically where we are and just the way forward. So definitely. But as we move on in today's newscast now, Ron, with borders being closed, let's just imagine that there are some boaters who are weathering the storm out there on the seas. And when I speak of storm, I mean the COVID-19 quote-unquote storm. Now, boaters have voyaged for days, some even months, as they are not accepted by any ports of entry. We have heard some of the stories, and I'm sure there are more. Now, here's a similar story coming out of St. Lucia. Viewers, let's take a look.
Police have confirmed that these individuals entered St. Lucia via the proper process. Law enforcement has affirmed that while the current border closure continues, individuals cannot be allowed to gain entry into the country. However, the crew members of the vessel are less than satisfied with the situation. During a brief telephone conversation with the boat's captain and the St. Lucian crew member on board, they explained their situation. They say they left St. Lucia for Haiti about 2 months ago for the vessel to be inspected for charter work. However, these charter plans had to be discarded as the COVID-19 pandemic forced cruise lines to stop their services. According to the captain, his crew subsequently found themselves stuck in Haiti when that country closed its borders. They were under lockdown for weeks until they were eventually released 15 days ago, at which point they decided to head to St. Lucia to get the one St. Lucian crew member home and to also seek help. However, they say after 15 days on the water, battling engine problems, they were met with disheartening news.
Viewers, an unfortunate ordeal. The men spoke about the deplorable conditions aboard the vessel. As you can imagine, after traveling for 15 days, what that may look like. As the interview went on, the captain noted that the response to the situation in St. Lucia compared to other islands were completely different. Let's listen to what he had to say about that.
Yeah.
The captain noted that the reception in St. Lucia has been starkly different from what they recently encountered on another island.
And a crisis like this, you just don't do that. I know the world is locked down. Everybody's afraid. We were before we got here, we stopped because we had this problem. We stopped in Tortola for 1 day. I called the authorities and they towed me into anchor so I could anchor. And the next day they sent the Red Cross out to give us some food and propane gas to get us here. Mm-hmm. And the police escorted us. I mean, they helped us. They put us on anchors, and they came back the next day, and they toured us out to a safe area where we could stay.
Ron, in this short clip, it was reported that the boaters were assisted by authorities in Tortola, actually. So our newsroom reached out to the relevant authorities to gather some information, just a little bit more about this encounter. Now, Ms. Stacy Lloyd, the director of BVI Red Cross, she explained the encounter to our newsroom. Viewers, let's listen in.
On Sunday, Mother's Day, May 10th, I received a call from an executive from the Tourist Board requesting food for 3 boaters, all male. I left my house and I went to the branch and I made care packages for the 3 individuals. It consisted of food essentials such as rice, beans, milk, eggs, cornflakes, water, juice, corned beef, Vienna sausage, crackers, bread, and to name a few, as well as hygiene items such as toothpaste, soap, masks, and gloves. The executive from the Tourist Board made arrangement for an officer from the Custom Department to pick up the care packages from the branch from me. And that was done. And then I confirmed with the tourist executive, the executive from Tourist Board, that I successfully gave the packages to the customs officer.
As we heard in the voice clip, Ms. Lloyd explained the encounter and the part that the BVI Red Cross and other agencies such as the BVI Tourist Board and the BVI Customs played in the successful delivery of care packages to the boaters. Now, although this happened a few weeks ago, we wanted to highlight this kind gesture and recognize the agencies that were involved. Ron, although our borders remain closed, I'm really happy that the BVI were able to offer a helping hand to these boaters, and I truly hope that those men were able to settle safely.
Kyle, I could not agree with you more. At the end of the day, once help could be given, I appreciate the fact that our authorities and our nonprofit organizations here felt and saw fit to be able to assist. That's a brotherly Caribbean regional love and support. That's all we can continue to do and support each other in these very difficult times.
Most definitely.
Continuing on, as the 2020 hurricane season quickly approaches, residents of the British Virgin Islands have additional responsibilities to consider and prepare for. We would all remember the devastation of the hurricanes of 2017 and the difficulties many faced due to not having full or any insurance coverage. I sat down with Ms. Simone Monsanto, Managing Director of Caribbean Insurers Limited, as she not only encouraged persons to get insured ahead of the season, but outlined their policies and what persons should know moving forward. Take a look.
They should come in and see their insurance agent regarding their coverages. Do not wait until a hurricane hit to come in and ask about your coverage. We are open. We have open house every day. Come in and ask about your different coverages, especially business, your property, even your auto. Come in and sort your coverages. Now it is the best time to do it now before the hurricane approaches.
Now, you mentioned the different types of insurance. Just reiterate for me, what type of insurance does your company offering?
Well, we sell basically all class of insurance. Right now for the hurricane, you should be looking at if you don't have loss of rent on your homeowner's insurance. Some policy covers it, some don't, so you need to come in and find out about that. So that basically covers you if you cannot live in your home for 6 months or a year. It can pay you for that time you're not there. Business interruption, most businesses will need that type of insurance in the event we have, God forbid, another Irma. A lot of businesses did not have that. They need to come in and talk to us about that. A lot of small businesses, I have seen the loss in Irma, and I advise it costs nothing to come and insure your contents. The contents is your product or whatever you sell that you have stored in the shops or whatever. It's a small fee to have that coverage.
Now, you mentioned just about 2017's and Irma. Let's revisit that for a second. Tell me about some of the problems that you saw, for lack of a better word, as it pertains to clients after Irma.
Ron, I want to say this, that we provide insurance coverage. Insurance can only pay you for what you are covered for, and insurance, especially for home and property, home and businesses, insurance have to put you back at today's cost. So you have to insure at today's replacement cost. It's simple as this. An example: you go to the supermarket, you have to buy a loaf of bread. It costs $6. You only have $3. You only will get half of the bread. It's just like insurance. You're paying a premium for years for your home value $200,000 when today it values $600,000. Then the insurance will only pay based on the $200,000 because you only paying premium on that basis. So my advice to clients and in general, look at insurance, look at your policy as a risk management, risk analysis, where you analyze your risk. Paying insurance is far cheaper than don't have coverage for those who don't have coverage, because a lot of people did not have coverage and they suffer after Irma to rebuild. So my advice to those people who do not have insurance, come in. It's a small price to pay compare when you have to cover all of these losses when it happens.
That was Managing Director of Caribbean Insurers Limited, Ms. Simone Monsanto. And now, additionally, despite some businesses being closed presently due to COVID-19, there are still additional measures pertaining to insurance that needs to be adhered to. Listen in.
One of the things that I would like to advise the people of the BVI in general, not only our clients, we would like the new clients, but take a look at your insurance policy. A lot of people rebuild. They add on rooms, they add swimming pool, they add additional whatever they add to their home. All of that need to be included in your insurance policy. You need to come and update your policy and let the underwriter know that you have add this on, so we can increase your coverage. So in the event of anything, you have coverage. Also, since the COVID-19, I've heard a lot of like rent. The guys that have these rental companies, they're saying they don't have no business. They don't need insurance. But my advice to them, they do need to keep their insurance. If something happened tomorrow morning or tonight, what will you do? Do you have the money to pay back for all those damages? So my advice to come and sort out your insurance and keep the insurance. Also for renters, people who are renting apartment after Irma, you did not have coverage. It's a small fee to insure your contents. your clothing, your furniture is just a small fee. Come in and get a bit of coverage that you have coverage in the event. You cannot take chances with this trend of weather that's going on right now.
Now, for persons wishing to get in contact with Caribbean Insurers Limited, they can be contacted, whether it's for a new or existing policy, at 393-8920. Again, that number is 393-8920 for all your insurance matters. Kyla, a very important story as we progress into the hurricane season. We saw what happened in 2017, and we want to make sure that all residents, those who are in need of insurance and other matters, are ready and prepared to tackle whatever may come our way.
Most definitely, Ron. I think this story is so timely simply because we've been reporting that, reports are saying that this hurricane season seems to be above average, and we don't want persons to be stuck in the situation that they were in 2017.
Yes.
And we must learn from what is happening. So of course we must not be distracted with what is happening right now amidst COVID-19, but make sure that our policies, and we're doing our best to stay protected as the hurricane season will soon be upon us.
I agree. Still ahead, visual dedication of Korean War memorializes in the U.S. and U.S. territories, and it honors 78 Virgin Islanders. All this and more when 284 News returns. Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works. Viewers, welcome back. You're watching 284 News. And just across the waters in the U.S. Virgin Islands, the BVI Consortium has reported that Yanaha Y. Kim, a Korean-American woman with a mission, has unveiled a website, KoreanWarMemorials.com, that features photos of almost 180 Korean War memorials she has personally visited, traveling 132,000 miles across 6 continents in the 30 countries that participated in the Korean War between the period of 1950 to 1953, as well as all 50 states in the United States, plus the 4 U.S. territories of Puerto Rico, Guam, the American Samoa, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. The online portal will present 400 videos with the stories of nearly 1,200 veterans she has met altogether on her journey, including her 90-day tour across the 50 states in 2018. Sponsored by Alpine Securities USVI, Kim was also able to interview and lay wreaths with the USVI's Korean War veterans at the Roosevelt Veterans Memorial Park in St. Thomas and at the Vern I. Richards Veteran Memorial Park, Roosevelt Veterans Memorial Park in St. Croix in July of 2018, originally scheduled for a launch in time for the 70th anniversary of the Korean War on June 25, 2020. The website will make the U.S. content available sooner for Americans to visit over the Memorial Day weekend. The U.S. content includes more than 1,000 photos of nearly 100 memorials Kim visited, with the video of her interviewing local veterans and supporters at each site. She said in a statement, and I quote, "It breaks my heart that most of the Memorial Day commemorations across the nation have been canceled due to COVID-19. I want to ensure that those who died fighting for our freedoms will be remembered and honored. A bit remotely, I hope people will still be able to visit and see that freedom is actually not free." The website features a virtual wall of remembrance with the names of nearly 41,000 killed worldwide in the Korean War, including more than 36,000 Americans from each U.S. state and territory. It lists the names of 78 Virgin Islanders who died in Korea out of the 750 who served. Visitors will be able to pay tribute by leaving comments behind. She continued by saying, and I quote, "I wouldn't be here without the sacrifice of veterans and wish to convey the gratitude of the Korean people. Untimely, the website is a collective gift of veterans their fallen comrades and families. Kim, who was able to develop the website through the support of the Nail Foundation, an organization established by successful second-generation Korean Americans. Most of her travels were funded with donations from the Korean American family and friends who pitched in to express their thanks. A former chief of staff of retired Congressman Charles B. Rangel and founder of Remember 727, Kim has made it her lifelong mission to honor Korean War veterans and promote peace on the Korean Peninsula. Her devoted activism began in 2008 at the age of 24 when she lobbied Congress to enact legislation signed by President Barack Obama in 2009, which established July 27th as National Korean War Veterans Day. In the United States, Kim is also the official ambassador of the Korean War Veteran Memorial Foundation, USA, which is currently raising funds to add a physical wall of remembrance to the National Korean War Memorial in Washington, D.C. Now, Kyla, here are some of the facts of the Korean War. From 1950 to 1953, 1.8 million Americans served in the Korean War, including 600,000 African Americans, 25,000 Japanese Americans, 20 Chinese Americans, and 148,000 Hispanic Americans. The U.S. suffered some 5,400 casualties and about 8,000 plus MIAs. In total, the Korean War involved 30 nations, and the war claimed the lives of more than 2.5 million Koreans and separated another 10 million Korean families, including 100,000 Korean Americans who have yet to meet their families in the north. Now, the 3-mile wide buffer zone between the two Koreas, known as the DMZ, is the most heavily armed border in the world. Today, the two Koreas remain divided, and some say there is still technically a war. But it's very important that we understand that a lot of our brothers and sisters over in the U.S. Virgin Islands, because of the close proximity, some may very well be connected by family roots, did serve and they were being honored. I think that's important to note. And amidst all that's going on, their contributions have been duly noted.
Most definitely, Ron. Most definitely. But Ron, as we move on to this next story, now, of course, as air travel, the air travel industry forecasts a long road to recovery after the temporary termination of services amid COVID-19, the global pandemic. And some passengers are canceling all travel plans this year, even as countries and states start to loosen lockdown restrictions and scheduling the opening of their borders. Ron, unfortunately, we're seeing airlines reducing services and temporarily canceling their routes to several airports in the United States or United States territories. At least 3 airlines will be temporarily canceling their services to the U.S. Virgin Islands. These include United Airlines, Seabourn Airlines, Silver Airlines, and Spirit. We also see where Seabourn Airlines have temporarily canceled services to San Juan and Vázquez, Puerto Rico. The airline industry received $25 billion in bailout from the CARES Act, funds that were supposed to be used to cover payroll costs, while stipulating that airlines not involuntarily furlough workers or cut pay rates through the end of September. The CARES Act also requires that all airlines maintain services to all U.S. airports they served pre-COVID-19. But the U.S. Department of Transportation has begun to loosen that mandate, with demands being low, and the airlines are basically lobbying to secure service exemptions. The Department of Transportation has quietly agreed to this lobbyist. While no airports will wholly lose service, many will be reduced to just one carrier. Each U.S. airline will be allowed to shed 5% of its airports served, or 5 airports, whichever is greater. Airlines had until May 18th to submit their choices, and after reviewing the request, the DOT tentatively approved the service suspensions. Ron, I think this is very, very important, especially as a territory that's across from the USVI and also Puerto Rico, although our borders are closed right now, a lot of our visitors, a lot of citizens and residents flying back to the BVI use these ports of entry. So now we are seeing that airlines are temporarily suspending services to these airports.
Yeah, which again will make it difficult, but I understand each nation is solely doing what they think is, in the best interest, and it's definitely coming at some uneasy accommodations for a lot of persons, and our hearts and prayers go out to them and wish everyone continued safety.
Most definitely, Ron. So, Ron, we do have a bit more stories to go. So, still ahead, flags fly at half staff this Memorial Day in honor of U.S. COVID-19 victims. All this when 284 News returns.
In the final analysis, we have two options: stay inside and create memories that will last forever, or go outside and say goodbye to those memories. We're not stuck inside, we're safer inside. The time is now to unite, embrace, and love each other from a distance. Show the world and the people in it just how much they mean to you by keeping your distance. It may be difficult, but necessary. Let's reintroduce humanity and heart to all homes. While we can't enjoy the sun, sand, and sea, let's take this time to remember why we are nature's little secrets. Stay inside, and when it's over, we would all be better, stronger, and we would all still be together. With self-discipline and patience, we can overcome. We are, have been, and will always be BVI Strong. A message from your team at 284 Media. Viewers, welcome back. You're watching 284 News. Now, as the USA is celebrating Memorial Day today, actually, on the international scene out of the VI Consortium, President Donald Trump on Thursday ordered that flags on federal buildings across the U.S. and its territories be flown at half-staff in honor of Americans who have died as a result of the coronavirus. The order comes as the U.S. COVID-19 deaths neared over 100,000, according to Johns Hopkins University. Some 97,000 Americans have died on the virus as of Monday morning. Across the U.S., governors were urging residents to exercise social distancing as Americans use the long Memorial Day weekend to head to the beaches, as has been the tradition. The weekend is also viewed as the start of summer. The president's order comes after Democratic leaders in Congress sent a letter to the White House requesting the action. It says, and I quote, "I will be lowering the flags on all federal buildings and national monuments to half-staff over the next 3 days in memory of the Americans we have lost in the coronavirus." All this was said by the President of the United States. Locally, over in the U.S. Virgin Islands, the territory's leaders have been issuing Memorial Day messages. This truly is a Memorial Day to remember, as our first line responders, our medical professionals, struggle to save the lives of citizens from this devastating disease. That was from Senator Myron Jackson over in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Continuing on, as we live through global uncertainty, I would like to thank all our veterans for their service and encourage all Virgin Islanders to pay tribute to the memory of the members of the United States Armed Force who have made the ultimate sacrifice and given their lives for freedom and liberties we enjoy. As we salute the fallen soldiers on Memorial Day, we recognize them as heroes and praise their legacy. We will remember their names and their greatness as they represent in all branches of military service. May we continue to be inspired by the memories of those heroic men and women who served our country with vigor and steadfastness. This was Lieutenant Governor Tregenza Roach, Deputy Governor of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Kyla, a very important story as our brothers and sisters over there celebrate Memorial Day and remember the persons who have continued to serve, but in particular in these times, very difficult times, we've seen where the President of the United States today has decided to fly flags at staff half in honor of persons who have lost their lives, some 100,000 Americans due to COVID-19.
Most definitely, Ron. But viewers, guess what? That's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram as well as Twitter. I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
And I'm Ron Grant. We will see you tomorrow as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. We're 284 News, delivering your news, of course, with pride and elegance. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we have a happy Monday, and enjoy the rest of your week.